NYYST. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Swinging for the fences, knock it out the park. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Christian and Chris, of course SGR. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Call me New York, Yankee sports talk. Record, rain or shine, grab your shades and umbrellas. NYYST, you're hanging with the fellas.
Welcome back. This is episode 411 of the NYYST podcast. We are live here on NYY Underground. I'm your host, Christian, and this week I'm with a special co-host, Pete Simonetti. Pete, what's up, brother?
What's going on, my guy? How you doing, Ove?
Oh, hey. It's vacation season. I missed last episode. Chris and Ryan are missing this episode, so Pete's sitting in here to keep you guys from being bored because nobody.
Okay, I'm a fella today. Okay, I'm a
nobody
fella.
wants to listen to me talk for 40 minutes by myself, but we're sitting here Monday night. It's a little bit after 8:30. The Yankees are enjoying an off day after their third consecutive series win.
Wow.
Extra inning win over the Toronto Blue Jays Sunday at the stadium. DJ LeMahieu was the hero in that game. There's a lot to unpack here about this Toronto series, some good, some bad. And before we get into all of that, please make sure you are subscribed to the NYYST podcast. We're available on your favorite podcast platform. Please make sure you're leaving us a 5-star rating and review while you're there. Please make sure you're telling everybody that NYYST is the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey. And since we are live tonight in the chat, please make sure you like this video, hit the sub button. Pete, what's the total now? We're closing out on 32, right?
Yeah, we're getting close. We're less than 300 away. 31,711 is where we're at right now.
711.
Closing in, by the way, too. We are closing in on 10,000 subscribers for the year already. Crazy. And it's not even, we're not even done with August yet. So baseball season's still going.
It is insane the growth that this channel has seen throughout the course of the year here, because as we say, this is where you got to come to, man. This is this is the number one spot for Yankees news and coverage. You're not gonna get it, the honesty that you're gonna get here that you're gonna get in other places. So I guess we can start here. Sunday. Let's start with Sunday's game here. I think that's it's going to be a microcosm of how the Yankees go forward here throughout the course of this season and how deep they can really go. And I think we should start with what the positive is, and that is Aaron Judge is the best baseball player on the planet. There's just nobody you cannot debate that. Anybody that wants to sit there and try to tell you anything other, I hate using this term, but they don't know ball.
It's true. It's true. Aaron Judge is the best player in the game, and it's not even close. I mean, when you got guys like Schneider coming out saying he's on a whole nother level.
I'm tired of looking. I'm tired of looking at him.
I'm sick and tired of seeing Judge come to the plate, so I just raise my 4 fingers and just let him go to first base and try to face somebody else because the guy is on another level. The numbers that Judge is putting up already, I mean, I did an over-under the other day, and the majority of the people in the chat during a game season live that had, 600-700 people in it, they all said they think he does over 60 this year. I mean, it's August 5th right now. They'll play tomorrow on August 6th. He's sitting at 41, so it's not impossible that he'll do it again, which is it's wild that he's doing this in modern times.
Well, in all the preseason shows that we've done, either on NYYST or NYYU, I've said if he's healthy, and he usually is unless there's a freak accident, he's going to flirt with that record. And I think last check he was 58, 59. The pace was that he's on.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that when you look at Aaron Judge, right, he should have won the MVP in 2017. I don't care what anybody says.
100%.
He won the MVP in 22. If it's not for that wall in LA, he wins it in 23. They're already trying to steal it from him in 2024 by Look, Bobby Witt is a tremendous baseball player.
No doubt.
Part of the resurgence, as big of a reason as anything, that the Kansas City Royals are in playoff contention if they're not holding down a spot. I haven't looked at the standings recently, but they were right around that third wild card spot last night I looked. But Pete, what does he have over Aaron Judge? Is it a higher batting average?
That's speed. That's it. Speed. I mean, speed and a little higher average. Aaron Judge is a 6'7" behemoth, and he can hit with the best of them. Average. He hits with the best power in baseball. People wanted to. I don't want to. We had a guy in here saying that, oh, Judge isn't the MVP because he's not like a 40-40 type guy. I'm like, this is the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life.
He's a 61-40 guy.
Exactly. I mean, I'm like, come on. This is absolutely ridiculous what people try to pull out of their ass to try to say that, to try to take something away from a talent like Aaron Judge that we have not seen. The thing I tell people a lot about Judge is, enjoy seeing this because you are seeing one of the greatest players of this generation. You don't see this all the time. You're seeing a guy that not only hits the ball 500 feet, but he could bat 320, 325. You don't get guys like that. And now with Soto hitting in front of him, the amount of RBIs he's going to have by the end of the year really is anybody's guess. He's that friggin' good. Aaron Judge is that good of a player. And, Bobby, this is not taking anything away from Bobby Witt. It's not taking anything away from Jason Dominguez, my God. It's not taking anything away from Gunnar Henderson. It's not taking anything away from any of these guys. But Aaron Judge is legitimately on another level. I mean, he's legitimately on another level as a player.
Just listen to these numbers. I know you know them, but you have to hear them out loud to understand how astonishingly good they are. 41, 103, obviously leads baseball. He leads baseball in walks with 92. No, they're afraid. We legitimately haven't seen opposing pitchers, managers be afraid to throw to somebody since Barry Bonds. That's how long it's been where they're legitimately afraid to pitch to Aaron Judge. And he's not chemically enhanced either. And I'm not taking anything away from Barry Bonds.
Agreed. No, I say it all the time. You're right. There is nothing like that on Judge. It's unbelievable what he's doing.
Pete, the OPS is 1157. Now, again, I don't generally like park adjusted stats, but I like OPS plus because there's a definitive league average. It's 100.
Right.
219. He is 120% better than the average baseball player.
I mean, and that is exactly why you got managers out there going, we're just not gonna face him because he is on another level. Take your risk with it could be a great player. Take your risk with the great player because Aaron Judge is on another level. He's on another planet.
And here's batting average, 7.6 WAR. He's going to be well over 10 by the end of the season.
Yep.
He's going to be a 10 WAR player. All right. But he's not just a lumberjack. He's not just a slugger. He's hitting 322.
Yeah.
He's hitting 322.
Yep.
I don't have words to describe. Everybody knows, but I don't think fans really truly give him the respect that he deserves. And I get it. And I'll preface this by saying the Yankees are going to the postseason this year. I think this stretch that not that I ever thought they weren't, but this stretch that they've been on Boston, Philly, and now Toronto, this is just cemented. They're going to the postseason. Nothing's good. I don't think with this schedule they have coming up, they're going, right?
Yep.
It's whether or not they can outlast the Orioles or not.
And KC, by the way, is a half game out of the third spot in the wild card. So they're right behind Minnesota.
He needs to have one of these dominant postseasons. He needs to have one of these, at least an ALCS where he takes it over. I get that because that's everybody. Oh, he doesn't hit in the postseason. Shut up.
Yeah.
This is greatness on a different level.
Yep,
okay.
It is.
We're never going to see this again in our lifetime. My dad's not here anymore, but when he would tell me about things that he watched as a kid, this is the reverence that he had for Mickey Mantle. This is how
same thing with my pops. He tells me that all the time. I say it on the Game Season Live a lot that, my dad's seen a lot of baseball. He loved McGuire. He's a Mantle fan. And he tells me all the time, he goes, he's right there. In his opinion, he's right there with these guys. And in the modern days, guys throwing a whole lot harder. Baseball being a bit of a different game. I know the fields aren't as large. Some of these guys played in, mammoth ballparks. But what Aaron Judge is doing is unfriggin' real, man. It really is. I mean, the overall game that Judge brings. If you're even like an analytics fan and you believe in I like to see the Savant pages and all that, his Savant page is the best thing in the world. I mean, his xWOB is 100. His XBA is 98. His X slugging is 100. His exit velocity is 100. Barrel percentage 100. Hard hit 100. This is literally a creative character. In like MVP baseball 04, 05, whatever the hell it was with Manny Ramirez on it, and you had that guy John Dowd or whatever that filled in for Barry Bonds, and you could just move everything up to like 100. That is literally what Aaron Judge is in real life. If you look at his Baseball Savant page, that's what it is. His Baseball Savant page is like a creative character. You just bring everything to 100. It's how good he is.
It really is, because then they're trying to find, this is how good Aaron Judge is. They're trying to find things to knock him on, right?
Yep.
I didn't even realize this was a thing. Saturday, I'm on social media and people are saying that he only hits meatballs for home runs. I'm like, what? This is a thing now? And then somebody found it that he has the second most non-meatball home runs in baseball this year. So you can't even say that.
I can't. Unbelievable.
It's just ridiculous.
People try to find anything to discredit greatness, man, and that's exactly what Aaron Judge is. He's in the process of putting together a legacy that really all he needs to do is win a World Series with the Yankees, and I mean it's cemented that he's one of the best of his time. You can't say that. I mean, I don't even know what the hell that even means. He's only hitting meatballs out, and then you could actually find a stat on that. I mean, that's wild. I guess you can find stats on anything nowadays.
Yeah. So we got a super chat here from Ronald Hansley Jr.
My guy.
Okay. He says, hadn't had a legit leadoff hitter since I don't know when, probably Johnny, no, probably Gardy.
Gardy, yeah.
That guy is Jason Dominguez. Yanks are wild, still not to bring him up. Shout out to NYYST and the NYYU fam, the hardest workers in the game. Thank you, Ronald.
Oh, my guy.
Which is why I initially brought up Aaron Judge. Let's say we can sing his praises for a couple of minutes, glaze him all we want. The guy's fucking fantastic. I mean, there's just nothing else that we could possibly say. Yep. But it's the title. Who will protect Judge, right? We've seen it now that it hadn't been this bad until this weekend. He's getting walked in obvious situations. He's getting walked with 2 outs and nobody on. He just Schneider just didn't want to deal with them anymore, right? So now we have to look at a situation here where, I mean, this is not a knock on Austin Wells. Don't get me wrong. I think his OPS is well over 800, probably close to 900 since what, late April or whenever.
Is it April or June? It might be the beginning of June.
Yeah. Well, I forget what the stat I saw was. It might have been, but whenever he's been performing well as a cleanup hitter. Is he your prototypical cleanup hitter? Not really, but he's done well. You haven't looked at that spot as a dead spot in the lineup where you have in the past.
Correct.
With other guys, and they've had a rotating door, just like in leadoffs. This has been a big problem for the Yankees. Who's hitting in front of Soto? Who's hitting in front behind Aaron Judge? Are we at a point now where the Yankees have to sit here and look at this lineup and say, we need to make a change? We can't let these managers get away with not pitching to Aaron Judge. And I mean, the only thing that I can possibly think of is, do you make the flip? Do you go now put Judge 2, Soto 3? Because Soto's the only guy that can offer legitimate protection to Aaron Judge.
Right. See, the one thing, if you want to finish?
No, go ahead.
No. The one thing I was going to say is I personally couldn't break up the 2-3 of Soto Judge because how good it's been already. I think the only answer, and I've been kind of preaching this for a long time, and they've kind of figured it out a little bit, is you got a good Volpe batting low in the lineup, and there's men on base when these guys come up, and that prevents it. That prevents the idea of we're going to either walk the bases loaded or something like that. I don't think there's anybody that could protect Judge. I think Soto is the only guy, but then you're taking a weakness away from Judge because who's on base for Judge then? I mean, the combination works so well with the on-base percentage than Judge. I think the answer, I don't know if there's a legitimate answer, because yesterday on Designated Spitters, we talked about this a little bit too. We said, is it Dominguez or Wells feels like the guys that would work best? Is Wells a leadoff guy and you have Dominguez fourth, or is Dominguez the leadoff guy and Wells fourth? I'll be honest with you, man. I really, really like Dominguez, Soto, Judge, Wells. I like it. I think Wells doesn't get enough credit because the thing I really like about Wells is if you walk Judge, Wells hasn't shown that he's a guy that's going to go chasing bad pitches. He walks. I think his on-base percentage since his last 30 games is almost like 400. So, I mean, he's been really elite when it comes to that. He's not some monster power threat, but he's proven to be a really good hitter. And to me, that is what you need protecting Judge, is somebody that's just a really good overall hitter. And I think Wells is that guy.
They're going to choose Wells 10 times out of 10, though, every time. The only reason I bring up Soto is Soto's the only guy that will put doubt in your mind. Do I want to put a base runner on for Juan Soto? They're going to say, well, Wells beat me. They might not say, let Soto beat me.
Possibly. That's true. To me, it would be detrimental in my mind for them to do that. For them to do that switch. It's worked so friggin' well.
And I don't know if you caught this on the YES broadcast while you were calling the game yesterday, but Aaron Judge already, and this was August 4th, already has driven in Juan Soto more times.
28 times, I think it was.
That's more times than he's driven in any other teammate throughout the course of a season. So it's obvious.
Christian, we noticed. We've been saying, we've all said this for a long time. If you don't got to be a genius fan to recognize this, that Aaron Judge needed guys on in front of him. How many times last year did Judge come up? Oh, it's a solo homer late in the game. Who gives a shit? I mean, he had nobody on base. Look at the amount of RBIs Aaron Judge has right now. And that's one of the main reasons why I was a little upset that the Yankees didn't go out there and add another infielder at the deadline, because to me, the best way of protecting Judge is having a strong bottom of the order. You will have to almost force teams that either you're going to walk the bases loaded, you're going to walk first and second, or you're going to face him with men on base. To me, that is the best way of doing it. We don't know. There's rumors that Rizzo may be coming back. Who the hell knows? I think the Yankees have done the best thing they could with DJ LeMahieu, is basically saying, look, you're not playing every day. You're not an everyday guy anymore. I like what we've seen so far from Jazz. But Gleyber Torres is hitting a little bit better, but I'm not overly impressed with Gleyber Torres no matter what this year. Just a mess. But Wells could be that answer, man. I got it pulled up here. His last 30 games, 300 average, 409 on base percentage, and a 544 slugging. I mean, he really may be the best guy to at least give the opportunities to, which is, I think, the way you got to look at it, is who's the best guy up there with those opportunities. If there is men on base and they walk Judge, it might be him. I don't think it's Stanton.
Not right now. Definitely
not right now. Yeah, definitely not.
I don't mind. That's why I said I don't mind Wells in that spot. I'm just looking at what would give me the best guarantee of letting Aaron Judge swing the bat. And I think it's Soto. Yeah. And but I don't, like you said, I don't really want to mess with that combination, because Soto's getting on in front of Judge and Judge is driving him in. So it's working. It's crazy to think about that team. They're already trying. Even Toronto's not playing for anything. They sold at the deadline. They're done. Yeah. And they don't want to be victimized by Aaron Judge anymore. What are we going to do when we get into a big game? And we still got to play the Orioles late September. That's going to come. That's probably going to decide the division right there.
Could be. It could be. It's gonna be very, very interesting. And we talk about this now in the regular season, but even more so in the postseason. How many opportunities would a team actually give Aaron Judge to have a big moment? How many times are they going to say, look, because we all know this. If the first game plan you do when you face the New York Yankees is go, okay, Aaron Judge, what do we do? How do we neutralize this guy? What's the best way of getting him out? And the team could simply say, look, man, you just don't give him anything at all to hit. Don't even worry about, if you miss, just miss. I'll miss by a lot. Let everybody else beat you. If that's the case, we do not want this guy beating us. And a team never has to pitch the Judge. They don't have to whatsoever. But again, I just feel like the only answer is a strong bottom of that order to get guys on base when he comes up.
Which is, and I'm going to tell you this. First, I just want to get your opinion on this. There's no consideration in your mind to back Judge leadoff, right?
No, I don't like that. I've seen that idea multiple times. I'm like, I don't want to get too analytical on this stuff. I don't like it.
I think they did it.
Judge needs to stay where he is.
I think they did it in 2022 based on pure necessity. He was legitimately the only hitter they had. Yeah. I think they did want to get him the extra ABs to get the record.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to do it this year because I think the lineup is a lot deeper than it was in 2022. I don't move Anthony Volpe. I
No,
leave him
leave him at the
alone.
bottom of the order, man. Leave that kid alone. Let him keep doing what he's doing
I
now.
think the perfect spot for him is 9. I really
Me
love
too.
him rotating back
Me
around and
too.
being that second leadoff hitter.
Yep.
But ever since they moved him out of the leadoff spot, he's been back to the hitter that we saw at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, driving the ball to right field, better power.
And I
That's
don't
where
know
he
if
just needs to be. It's just, he works perfect as a lower
he's a
half order. But I'm with you. I like
he's
him
a
batting ninth.
complimentary. He's a complimentary player.
Yeah.
And I don't
Correct.
know if you,
But he's also perfect in that role for
no, and
the guys they
that's not
have,
a knock.
2, 3.
That's not a
Exactly.
knock on him. That's not a knock
Exactly.
on him. Not everybody's meant to be Aaron Judge. There's guys that you have to play a role on a team, and he's a
Correct.
compliment to the stars of this team.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you agree with me. You can tell me I'm crazy. I firmly believe this. I've been on record both on this show and on social media numerous times that the Yankees never moved him in the first place. I'm not saying because of Witt and Henderson that he would have, but he's in the conversation at least to make the All-Star team this year.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was there almost anyway. I know during that time he was struggling a lot, but yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, look, I predicted early in the year I thought he was going to start on the All-Star team, and that obviously didn't work out that way. But I think he's a much more relaxed player batting at the bottom of the order. I think that, and I agree with you. 7, 8, no, I really like him at 9. I think it makes the most sense. It adds that additional speed, and that's the other thing the Yankees did add. Just yesterday, seeing them do the double steal.
With Jazz and Volpe.
Jazz and Volpe. Then a ground out, a run. Then a sacrifice fly. And you're like, oh, shit, look, they can do this. That's what speed does for you in the lineup. So for me, whenever they decide on doing it, getting Jason Dominguez in this lineup only adds to that. Is now they got a team that you don't have to sit back and go, well, now we're waiting on the Judge home or waiting on one of these guys to pop a 3-run home run in a big postseason game. Instead of being able to manufacture runs, instead of being able to steal, instead of being able to, in a situation like that, go, you know what? Let's bunt them over to third base and let's just get a damn run across. And they're able to do that with speed on this team. It's a very, very different lineup. And, on the very first nights at the roundtable, Christian, I said, this is going to come down to the trade deadline with these two teams, the Orioles and the Yankees. The difference with the Orioles went out there, Eloy Jimenez looks like he's kind of refreshed. He went from the worst team in baseball to one of the better teams in baseball. He's hitting well. But then the Baltimore Orioles also said, let's call up Colby Mayo. Let's call up
Holiday's back.
Holiday's back looking like himself. The Yankees' last piece that is missing is getting Jason Dominguez up here. And I got a feeling what it is and why it hasn't happened yet and why it might not happen until September. I think it really has to do with them worried about a potential injury and not having a backup.
Well, let's
say if they dumped Verdugo now, and God forbid something happens to one of the outfielders. Who's out there now? That's what I got a feeling it could be.
Well, I didn't think you were going to take it that way, which it does make a lot of sense that if they DFA'd Verdugo, right, and then, God forbid something did happen, Grisham. Look. This is not a knock on Trent Grisham. I think he's played well, especially since he's had more playing time.
Yep.
As I told Chris numerous times, when you see his name in the lineup, it's just kind of like
underwhelming.
It's underwhelming. It's a perfect word for it. But I was taking it from a different perspective on the Dominguez. When you said injury, I thought you were going to bring up this point. I think the Yankees are worried about Dominguez is getting injured again because
possible.
Kid's coming off Tommy John, hit the shit out of the ball. Then he got the oblique strain. He's back earlier than what I had originally heard because I was hearing from people that supposedly know these things that the Yankees didn't even think he'd be a player for them at all this year.
Yeah.
Based on the level of this injury. And he's been back a week or so already. So I feel like even though he's, quote, active, I feel like this is a rehab assignment that he's on anyway right now. That the Yankees
100%.
want him to knock some rust off so that he can stay healthy before they just call him up. And I was getting it. I understand the level of excitement for Jason Dominguez because I have a level of excitement for Jason Dominguez too, because I think if he plays to anywhere close to his potential, this takes this Yankee lineup to a whole different stratosphere right now.
Exactly. And they got to get to that. If they want to win this year, they got to get to that.
But the problem is people were telling me yesterday, well, you just bat him cleanup. That solves your Judge problem. No,
I don't think so.
it doesn't, because
I agree.
look, think about it like this, bro. The kid has 33 career plate appearances. What manager in their right mind is going to say to themselves, "Oh, I'll pitch to Judge because I'm afraid of Jason Dominguez"?
Of this kid, all right, he has apparently great ability, but what has he done at this level?
Nothing.
I mean, that's a
really,
it's a very fair statement to me. That's why originally when we were having the conversation yesterday, me and Kev, I said, well, if I'm considering anything, it's Dominguez leadoff, and I'm leaving Austin Wells where he is, because the one thing you could say about Austin Wells was, once this kid has started getting regular playing time, and mind you, I better not see Trevino back in this regular role where he's playing almost every other day. When he gets back, if he does get back, that cannot happen whatsoever. You cannot allow, and I'm praying that Aaron Boone and the Yankees are smart enough on this just to simply understand that Austin Wells needs to stay in the lineup. But I feel like he's shown enough that he could be a middle of the bat guy, a middle of the order bat. He could be that. He's showing that he could be that. I think we all thought that he would get the majority of the playing time and have a really good offensive year, but before there was ever a pitch this season. So to see him doing it now, it's not really surprising. But I think he's a guy you got to leave in there. And then again, you got Stanton behind him. You got Jazz after that. And you build the lineup up from there. But I think they got a really, really good chance to have a lineup that we have not seen in a very long time, because speed has not been the Yankees' game for a very, very, very long time. To have three legitimate guys in that lineup that could steal 30-plus bags a year, that's something that we have not had for the Yankees, and I couldn't even tell you how long.
And I'm not fighting with the chat today. I'm not doing this, but I just see TJ from Atlanta put this in the chat of what he wants a lineup to be. You can't bat Judge. No. You can't bat Judge cleanup. You can't do it.
Man. And
you have to guarantee Aaron Judge in that bat in the first inning. He leads baseball in first inning home runs. Everybody that wants to say he's not clutch, he doesn't hit in the. Okay, but he gives the Yankees an immediate lead. How is that not important? So.
And you don't. To me, you look when you're looking at. I want to look at this 1 through 9, and I want to improve it. Well, you don't fix what's not broken. Soto Judge is not broken.
It's not broken, and that's the only reason why
I can't touch it.
That's what takes me away from wanting to move Soto. But it's a double-edged sword. It's like, who's the only guy that can protect Judge? Well, it's Soto. But do I want to break up something it's not broken? And when they moved Volpe to lead off, I came on here and said, it's not broken. Why try to fix it? So that's why I'm like, I can't do it. I can't really do it. So you just take your chances with Austin Wells. I guess that's the only answer. You take your chances with Austin Wells and see what he can do. He's like you said, he's not going to be somebody that's going to get himself out most of the time.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree.
For the time being, it doesn't look like Dominguez is coming up. Do you just stick with the rotating door of whoever Boone feels is the guy at the moment, or do you try Jazz Chisholm? Because I'll be honest with you, I thought he was brought here, and I know
we all did.
I honestly thought he was brought here to be the leadoff hitter. I really thought he was.
But we also, the funny thing about it is, we also thought the same thing when it came to when Benintendi came here. Well, he's the leadoff hitter, obviously. And they're like, no. He's the middle of the bad guy.
Yeah, and then look what happened. He struggled mightily. Then they put him at the top of the lineup, and he started hitting.
And even with when Verdugo got here, like, all right, perfect leadoff hitter. The Yankees like, no, we're bad him. We like him in the middle of the order, and now they got him finally leading off a little bit more, but he just hasn't produced, man. And I like Verdugo. I think everybody does, but Verdugo just has not produced, and. We're probably never, and I'll say it, and I just think it's just maybe the PTSD talking with the Yankees is Dominguez feels like if he's healthy and the Yankees just say, well, the reins are being handed over to Jason Dominguez. You're in left field every single day, center field, whatever it is, you're playing every day. We're full steam ahead with you. I still don't think they put him lead off because it's just the Yankees. It's like, it's just stupid. It's like the obvious play. He's a switch hitter. He hits from both sides very well. He has a great eye, great speed. This is everything you'd want. He got power. He could put you up early. Perfect as a leadoff hitter. The Yankees would probably sit there and go, yeah, no, No, we'll put somebody. We'll continue on with Verdugo or something else.
When
It just doesn't
Verdugo,
make sense.
when Domingue, I'm not saying if, when, because if he's not at least called up on September 1st, I don't know what this organization is doing.
Yeah.
But when he gets called up, that would probably spell the end for Verdugo, I would say, especially if he's continuing to play like this. If you're taking Dominguez, putting Dominguez in the lineup, taking Verdugo out of the lineup, then if they're going to be smarter Yankees, not bat Dominguez leadoff, who does then?
Yeah.
Because you need to put some type of dynamic player in front of Juan Soto, right? And that's why I think Dominguez fits so perfectly there because he has the most potential to be dynamic. If it's not him, to me it's Jazz because of the. I feel the pop is gonna. It hasn't played so far at Yankee Stadium, but I think it will eventually. And the speed. And I don't want anybody to say, "Oh, you can't steal in front of Juan Soto." Okay, yeah, you can. You can definitely. To me, you can.
Of course. Hell yeah. Of course you can.
You
Of
don't.
course you
Oh,
can.
though somebody made the point to me though. If he leads off with a single, he steals second. They'll pitch around Soto. Oh, really? So now you want two guys on for Aaron Judge? Where do I sign up for that?
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly the point right there, and why I think Dominguez does make sense because people forget. I think we've seen Dominguez for a short period of time, but they forget his overall numbers of what he did in the minor leagues and where his potential is. The guy was rated as the best eye in the Yankee system for multiple years in a row. He has a great idea of the strike zone. He's also extremely fast, which I think people do forget about too because he's built like a little tank. But the guy stole 40 bags in the minor leagues. I mean, he'll easily do something close to that if the Yankees let him just run loose. And again, the power and the possibility of hitting for average, it fits very, very well for the Yankees, man, as an overall squad. And why wouldn't you want this guy up at some point with Juan Soto? I mean, it just makes all the sense in the world as somebody that I don't ever want to say you compare. There's not many Juan Sotos out there. There's really no Aaron Judges out there. You don't want to compare these guys and put them in that level. But for me, it's, hey, get under my wing and watch what I do every single day and start learning from that and picking that up. And if they're there the next multiple years together, I mean, holy shit, it's, as Hirsch just said too, Dominguez makes more sense at leadoff than Jazz and Volpe. I agree. The switch hitter too also makes a shit ton of sense.
No, I love, and this is a super chat here from Ra. Dominguez and Soto will play well off of one another, and I agree with that. I think they would feed off of each other, and
No
that's
doubt.
a perfect combination to start the game with. I would, like I said,
How
think
many
the
early leads would the Yankees get with that one? I mean, you got to believe quite a bit.
I mean, if you're starting a game off with a healthy Dominguez, Soto, and Judge, I'll take my chances there.
I'll even take my chances with not the greatest pitching.
Which before we move on,
okay.
it was almost a segue, but I didn't want to get your take. Do you like where Jazz is right now? Where has he been, like 5, 6 in that area? Do you like him just kind of blending in around in there?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, the thing about the Jazz trade originally is, you're looking at it. I immediately sat there and I said, okay, when's the Glaber trade? Where's the Glaber trade happening? What is that? The Yankees gave up a lot to get. They gave up a lot. They gave up a lot to get Jazz Chisholm. Augustine Ramirez hasn't got off to the greatest start for the Cubs. Not for the Cubs, excuse me, for the Marlins. But, Jazz being able to prove that I could play third base and I'm athletic enough to play there, I am shocked with how good he's looked at third base already.
I mean, I didn't see much of the Philly series. I just saw highlights because I was away that week. I haven't seen anything to make me say that he can't play third base.
I have not even gotten nervous if a ball is hit at third base. I mean, he looks really friggin' good at third base. And that to me makes that trade so much better because originally I'm there going, only the Yankees would do this. Only the Yankees would get this guy and go, okay, he's this obvious second baseman. We're going to put him at third base, which he's never really played before. He came up as a shortstop, but never played third. And I'm sitting there going, this is going to be a friggin' nightmare. And man, oh man, I could not have been more wrong. He looks exceptional at third base.
We got DJ Steele's chiming in.
Oh, God.
Year, what's up, Christian and Simonetti? I don't personally think they will win it all this year, but who else is better? They can prove me wrong in that. And
Good point.
this is what I want. I didn't get the opportunity to express this because I wasn't here when Chris and Ryan did the post deadline show. And I did. I think I mentioned this to Francis. Him and I were talking on Twitter. I don't think the Yankees had a bad deadline. I think they hit a couple areas of need. Mark Leiter Jr., obviously Jazz, and I think De Los Santos is going to be a good piece for them as well. So
Yeah, he looked good.
the two the most we needed a bat, we needed a couple of relievers. I think they hit what they needed to hit there. Did they set themselves apart? That's what they didn't do. They had a good deadline. They hit some areas of need, but they didn't set themselves apart. But I don't think anybody else in the American League did either. So everybody is still there.
That's what it is too. Is the Baltimore made a little more moves. They added 2 guys to the rotation, but nothing extremely sexy that you kind of looked at and said, "Damn, why couldn't we do that?"
You didn't look at anything Baltimore did and said, "Well, now they're the clear-cut favorites now."
No, not at all. I think when you originally the Eloy Jimenez trade, you're like, "Damn, they got Eloy. Okay, he's been struggling," and to see that he's kind of like rejuvenated. Maybe that adds a little bit of, all right, that middle of the order could be a little tougher. Let's see if he kind of, puts it all together in Baltimore, and we'll see what happens. Obviously, that guy can hit the ball at anywhere, but they didn't make any moves that I'm sitting back going, oh, shit. I think the best thing they did was they did what the Yankees should be doing.
Yeah,
they said, all
called up the
right,
young
well,
guys.
we're calling young guys up. We're going to fill in the rest of this roster in the holes that we couldn't get. We're going to call the youth up and run with these guys and see what happens. Because, look, if Holiday's the guy that they expected he could be and the rest of the year he bats above 300, you better believe they really improved their club quite a bit. And that's a scary thought because they already got a hell of an offense.
If that kid plays to his potential, then that lineup becomes that much more scary. But as I'm sitting here looking at things right now, and again, you want to put the Dodgers are the Dodgers, right? I don't understand how they ever have the prospects and the money. They always have anything that they need to do what they need to do.
Always
right?
have it somehow. Yep.
As far as the American League is concerned, I don't think anybody separated themselves from anybody else at the trade deadline.
Yeah, the one team I will talk about, and I'm starting to kind of look into their team a little bit more, just do a little more research on them. I think the Guardians are a bit underrated. I think a lot of people are kind of sleeping on that club a little bit. Do I think they're the Orioles or the Yankees? To be honest, I don't. I think they have a crazy good bullpen that's going to be tough for anybody, especially if they have a lead. But the one thing that I could say about the Yankees when it comes to them, the Yankees have beat Emmanuel Clase a couple of times. And look, I don't know, and I don't want to be in the situations of where we're facing this guy a couple of times in the postseason because it probably means we're losing. But a lot of that mental stuff plays a little bit, and the Yankees have hit Clase in the past, but I do think they're a team that some people are sleeping on a little bit.
The Indian, can't say that.
Okay, Indian action. Okay.
The Guardians are a team that has to prove it to me. They're like the Twins. Any team out of the AL Central, really, their regular season is impressive.
I don't trust them. Yeah.
You got to show it to me in October.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. And the Yankees, too, by the way, they got the best run differential in baseball.
Which is amazing because they didn't win a game for like 6 weeks.
It is amazing. It really is. It really is amazing. Aaron Boone, manager of the year. Okay.
It took them 37 days. I can't get over this. And I understand that the All-Star break was in that span. Okay, so in game action, 33 days. It took them 33 days to get from 50 to 60 wins. And they're still tied for first place.
It's crazy.
I mean, they got to be
Baltimore played 500 ball during that time, they'd be up by like 3 or 4 games right now.
They got to be looking at themselves, be like, dude, if we and I think
they screwed themselves badly. They really did.
And I don't understand how they're yes, being 5 games over 500 at home is bad. I don't understand how they're a bad home team.
I don't get it. I don't get it either.
Yankee Stadium should be a major advantage for this team, and it just hasn't
29
been.
and 24. Yep, 29 and 24 at home, which it's hard to put together why that is. I don't really have something that just pops to my head to go, oh, that's got to be it. It just doesn't make sense. 29 and 24 is not a good record for the Yankees at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they played a lot of home games during that stretch. Remember they got swept by the Reds.
Yeah.
They got swept by the Mets, but that Mets series now seems like an anomaly because it's been caught in the middle. They played to Tampa. They split that series. They bookended it really well. They didn't play well in the middle. Then they got their asses beat by the Mets,
Yep.
and then since then it's been the Red Sox, Phillies, and oh Jesus, the Blue Jays. They played
Yeah.
really well, so it seems like I don't know what it is. The Mets won their World Series. Good for them.
Yeah, let him be happy about
Congratulations.
something.
You gotta let them be happy about something. But one of the reasons why the Yankees got swept by the Mets, and this is going to tie
Oof.
into this here,
Here we
is
go.
because Gerrit Cole got the shit kicked out of him, and then he was supposed to start against Philly, and he got skipped because of general body soreness or fatigue
General soreness.
or whatever the hell they were calling it. And then this is typical Yankees, like, oh, he's got a stomach flu. So is he tired or does he have a stomach flu?
Right.
It's like the same. It's like they just did this with somebody else too. It's like they said one thing and then Boone came out and said a different thing about why the guy was out. It's just this is why you can never trust this organization.
Can't.
But
Not at all.
Georgia and I know you're calling the game, so you're not listening to the Yes
No, I don't
broadcast.
hear him at all. Unless somebody says it in the chat of something they said, I'll see it,
Joe
but
Gir-
I don't listen to him at all.
Joe Girardi is amazing in this role as an analyst on Yes. I think he brings such a perspective as there's a lot of former managers, but I think because he's younger and he's just within the last couple of years, and he's the last Yankee manager to win a World Series, so he has all this. He has this resume that really resonates well, and he does an excellent job of also being a catcher of breaking all this stuff down. So he's done an excellent job in this role here, and he brought this up yesterday, and you can see it especially once it's pointed out to you. Cole doesn't have the extra life on his pitches, especially the fastball, as he did last year.
Yeah.
Is that part of him working himself back? Is he protecting something? I mean, because we've seen he hasn't truly been great this year.
Right.
He hasn't. We have not.
He's had his
seen-
moments.
We have not seen Gerrit Cole truly been great. Even in the games where he's pitched well, he struggled to find what's working for him.
Yep.
He's gotten the snot kicked out of him by the Mets a couple of times, which it almost doesn't matter to me that it's the Mets. It's just the fact that Gerrit Cole pitched that poorly against anybody should concern you as a Yankee fan,
Of course.
just to see him pitch like that. And I don't know if you noticed this, Cole, in the game yesterday. He did something a little bit different in his delivery. He had a little hesitation before
I saw
he
it. Yeah.
dropped the leg.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't know. You tell me. You tell me.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know what it is with Cole. Do I believe that he's 100%? I don't. I don't think Gerrit Cole is going out there feeling like he's 100%. Got a super chatty from Danny. He says, Pete, let's call up the Martian to protect Judge. Yeah, man, we talked about that at the beginning, first part of the show, but you got to be concerned. And I know there's people out there that go, no, I'm not concerned at all about him. Let him just keep doing his thing. Look, if the Yankees don't have a sharp Gerrit Cole, that you're going into that first postseason series and you go, Cole's on the mound. All right, good. That really gives us the advantage. If you're sitting there going, oh man, which is the guy we're going to get today? The Yankees aren't winning nothing. I mean, I don't care how good their offense could eventually be. If Gerrit Cole is not Gerrit Cole, who the hell are you depending on? I mean, Rodon's been better as of late. You're not depending on Rodon. Marcus Stroman has been a nightmare for a while now. Nestor Cortez, who the hell knows? We don't know about Clark. There's some serious question marks.
Gerrit
And
Cole
the
has
one
to
that
be
we
the
never
one
had
guy.
before was Cole. Exactly.
He has to be the
was
one
never
guy
the one
that
we
you
worried
don't
about.
question.
Bingo.
So I don't know. Am I willing to let him waddle? I don't want to. Yeah, I guess waddle through this is a good term. Like waddle through the rest of his regular season if it means that my ace is going to be on the mound come October. Yeah, I can deal with what he gave us 5 2/3 or 5 1/3, whatever it was, 2 earned. I can deal with that if that is all him working through something, but he hasn't been able to now put it together. And the general soreness or fatigue thing, he said it wasn't the elbow. Okay, I'm going to take him at his word for it.
Yep.
It's not like him to lie about these
He
things
was
anyway.
grabbing, if you remember, he was grabbing like his neck multiple
Yeah, the
times.
trap. Yeah, so I don't know.
So
Maybe he fell a little. It could be anything. I again, like now, how many starts? We're at 7, 8 starts throughout the course of the season. I don't
yeah,
buy that he's in spring training mode either because he wasn't getting 7 starts in spring.
no, not at all. I think exactly like I said. I don't think Gerrit Cole is 100%. I don't think he's 100%. There's a good chance he may not be 100% all season. And the idea for him is that I'm going to go out there and try to win with this team. I want to go out there and pitch. And the Yankees probably feel a 70-80% Gerrit Cole is better than the majority of pitchers out there. And you see how quick he could turn it on, because the first 2 innings of the game yesterday, I'm sitting there going, oh my God, like Gerrit, he is gonna get lit up. There's just a moment in time he is gonna get absolutely lit up. I think they had like 5 or 6 or 7 hits or something after 2 innings, or into the third. They had like 7 hits in that game off of him. I'm like, this is not the Cole that we're used to. So for me, at the end of the day, man, my hope is that he does go on a little bit of a run where he's taking him out. He could give you that 7-inning performance, and you go, okay, it's there. And at least that the Gerrit Cole that we all know could go on the mound and shut a team down in the postseason is still in there. Because look, Louis Hill is Louis Hill. He's looked good again as of late. But the rotation is very underwhelming. It's very underwhelming in a postseason series, especially if Cole is not Cole. I mean, you'll have no nails left by the first game. I mean, watching the starter rotation try to navigate a lineup. So it's scary to me.
Yeah, that's where I think the Yankees didn't do enough at the deadline, is they didn't pick up another starting pitcher, even somebody that can go and eat some innings for them right now. And you can go back and forth to why they didn't get Jack Flaherty. They didn't get him, right. It didn't
At the end of the
happen.
day, it didn't happen.
So would I have liked to see Jack Flaherty on this team? Yeah, because I think it would have helped them. It's just
He looked decent for the Dodgers.
it's just that yeah, of course he did. If he would have came here, then he would have herniated.
He would have
fourth
skipped the
disc in his
start
back.
with a back problem or
Yeah,
something
I
like
mean,
that.
it's just here's what it comes down to. If we're going into October not knowing that Gerrit Cole is the best pitcher in baseball, it's going to be hard for the Yankees to win a World Series this year.
No
They
question about it.
They can't overcome not having him being the ace. He can't just be another guy in this rotation. You need Gerrit Cole to take the mound, and the Yankees have that confidence saying, "Oh well, you know what? We might lose the next 2 games, but we're not losing this one because
Right.
Gerrit Cole is on the mound."
Yeah, he's got to be that guy. And again, if he's not that, it extremely lowers the Yankees' chances of winning a World Series this year. And that's just facts. I mean, there's no other way of looking at that. You need to have that ace that when Gerrit Cole takes the mound, you have a very, very good shot, and you just good mentally of knowing that you got a strong chance of winning this game. And if you don't have that, the Yankees are not in a position to win.
What's your level of concern on 1 to 10? 10 being like, oh, we're fucked.
I gotta be at least a 7 because I haven't seen that guy yet. And it might sound crazy to some because the velo is there, all that stuff is there, but I need to see a dominant. And chat, please, you guys throw it in there too. What you think? I just need to see that guy, and I haven't seen that guy yet. I need to be able to see a really dominating performance. Even his body language. I don't know if you've noticed, his body language doesn't look great on the mound. It's just weird looking. That last outing was very strange to me.
Gerrit Cole is very bad at hiding how he feels. He could never be a poker player.
Mm-hmm.
He's got such a tell all the time.
Yeah.
And you're right. His body language sucks because he's searching out there. He's not taking the mound knowing that I got my fastball. I can locate this anywhere I want it today. Or you can't hit my knuckle curve.
Right.
And Girardi brought that up. Like his fastball doesn't have that extra run. It's almost staying flat through the zone. And that's why it's getting hit more this year.
Yep.
It's the knuckle curve isn't as sharp. Like last year, bro, he's throwing fucking darts 99, spotting you wherever he wants to,
That's
and then just to embarrass you, he breaks off a fucking knuckle curve
Yep.
just to make you look stupid. He doesn't know where he's going. And I think
Correct.
that's part of the issue right now is that if he even had one of those things in his back pocket where he knew he had something, because there's times like even yesterday, dude, he dotted 97 on the outside corner. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, after that second inning, you really started to see that it's still in there. It's like you said, it just feels like he's searching for it. Gerrit Cole's the type of guy that he probably knows what the game's going to look like once his bullpen is done. And he could probably be one of those guys that when he leaves that pen, he goes, oh, this is going to be a good one today. This is going to be easy. We're going to carve these guys up. But I think the problem with him is that I don't think he's 100%. I don't believe he is. And I think he is searching to figure out every outing what is going to work best today.
you know,
Is there going to be a time that he gets more innings under him and he feels better and he just maybe September's a great month going right into the postseason? Possibility. It's possible.
I had somebody tell me that Cole is selfish and he should have just shut himself down for the year.
Oh, yeah, of course. Why not? If you can pitch, just go ahead and go home. Yeah, why not?
Look, he needs to be the ace of the staff, right? We're all in agreement on that. He can't be. And look, I see a lot of people bringing up humidity. It's hot for the other players on the team.
It's
Like,
hot for everybody.
why is this
Everybody's
an
on the same
excuse
field.
for the Yankees? Like,
It's like when people go to the short, that's a short porch home. Well, you played here too today. What happened? You do it. You're allowed to.
look, but at the end of the day here, the Yankees can win with what Gerrit Cole
Okay.
gave them
At
yesterday.
the end of the day, okay, he did that
Chris
for
is not
Chris.
here. I did it for
Okay.
Chris. The Yankees can win with what they got out of Gerrit Cole yesterday.
Yeah.
They did win with what they got out of Gerrit Cole yesterday.
They won. The,
So-
the offense, they stayed in the game. The relievers were okay, and they went out there and did their thing.
I'm at about a 5. I really am. I love Gerrit Cole. That's my
Of course.
guy. So if I put anything higher than that, I'm going to be in panic mode for the rest of the season. But I'm at a 5, bro, because like you said, I haven't seen it yet. It's like that old boxer, right? I'm not saying Gerrit Cole's old. He's still in the prime of his career, but it's like that old boxer that he's got one good punch left in him and you're just waiting for him to land it. And that's like what you're watching with Gerrit Cole right now is that, he's just dodging hits. He's dodging hits and he's trying to stay in the game and land that one big punch. And it's like, that's what you see out of him when he breaks off that sick knuckle curve or when forget the batter. But my God, dude, I was like, when he hit 97 on the corner, I'm like, that's Gerrit Cole.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of good out of yesterday's outing. It started very, very poor. And then you looked up, he's like, oh, he just threw a 3 shutout. And you could even see when Boone came out to get him, it was like, Cole was like, I'm kind of relieved to be coming out of this one. Like I came out of this one the way I did. You could see it on his face. It was almost like a relief. Like, all right,
and that's what I wanted. I'm
later.
glad you brought that up because I love the competitiveness of Carlos Rodon, but I'm tired of him crying every time Boone wants to take the ball from him. I really am, dude. Like eventually just you're done. Okay.
Yeah. I think Boone is going to get to that point because last time it didn't work.
And
it's like,
here's the thing.
You got 2 more earned runs because if you did come out of the game, we might have.
And here's the thing. I get it. You want to face Vladdy. You got to get him out. You can't be giving up doubles, rockets down the line there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But
and that's the competitiveness in him. And that, again, that's something that Aaron Boone needs to grab. He needs to rein that in because at the end of the day, this is his team. And if I'm watching that start, because I was watching that start, I was like, oh, come on, give him the chance. And I was like, all right, come on, Carl. I'm built up for Lowe's. Come on, Lowe's, get him. And then he gives it to him like, oh, shit, come on, man. And now, Tonkin comes in, he gives him a base hit. He pitched well, but he gave up a single and 2 runs came in, and that goes to Carlos. So his outing on paper looked not great, but his outing was really good. He looked really good overall.
I thought, yes. The numbers
he looked really good that game. The numbers didn't really match it.
He did pitch better than his numbers dictated. His numbers showed. But again, if you want the guy, you got to get the guy out.
You got to get him. So we know, we already know Carlos Rodon's a competitive guy. We understand that. We get it. But I'm there with you. You gotta, if you're gonna do that multiple times, and your manager's gonna say, "All right, let's do it." You got to get the guy eventually because now if I'm Boone, I'm going, hey, man, it was Cousins. My bad, guys. It wasn't not Tonkin. It was Cousins who gave up the hit. For me, I would sit there at this point now and go, no, 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 come on. We gave you that opportunity. Now's the time. I'm pulling you. Come on.
But here's the
And
point.
make it very simple.
Here's how I wanted to, put the two things together here. Gerrit Cole willingly handed the ball over to Aaron Boone yesterday at
Correct.
91 pitches, and
Yep.
it was at a situation in the game where I'm like, you can't let him throw again. You can't let him go more. But I
Yeah.
think Cole knew him. Like, Cole knows himself better than anybody. He was done. He knew he was done at that point, which is a little bit scary that Gerrit Cole feels that he's done at 91 pitches. But at the same time, like, I think he also got himself to a point where he also was like, okay, I worked through some things. I'm done. Like, let's not push this thing too far. I don't know. It's still a 5 for me, but I wanted to see a little bit of fight out of Gerrit Cole trying to stay in that game yesterday.
Yeah, he looked relieved.
He
Really did.
He was
looked
just like
relieved to come
he
out
was
of that
happy
one.
to. He was the first time anybody's been happy to see Aaron Boone all year.
Facts, exactly. And I mean, if this stuff is very, very early with Baseball Savant, compared to last season. But his velo averages are definitely down this year. And I know it's not a lot. So he's only 40 and 2/3 innings pitch. He has 42 strikeouts. But the fastball's down about 1 mile an hour. The cutter is down by about 2 miles an hour.
I think he needs to ditch that. I don't like that pitch for him, to be honest.
Johnny
with you.
Lozani says the same exact thing. He's like, stop the shit with the cutter. Like, get rid of the cutter. A lot of times he leaves that pitch up and it gets drilled. It gets put out easy. So, maybe that is one of the situations for him. He's throwing the slider. All that stuff looks exactly the same roughly. It's a little bit down. I think it's down by 1 mile an hour. But I don't know. There's something I see with Cole where I'm just like, I don't feel like he's right. Do I still think he could be really good? Yeah, I do. I think he could still be very, very good. He's like Judge, man. You can see this guy have a bad month and you're like, look, man, in 2 weeks, you're going to look up and be like, damn, what happened to his numbers? You can look back and go, Cole's now, 5 outings now where he's just dominated? Yeah. I mean, it's Gerrit Cole. That's kind of what he does. So that also wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't shock me one bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping he starts to get on a run here just for all of our own sanities here.
Yep.
I mean, but at the end of the day, again, that's for you, Chris. I don't really feel the need to be super concerned about it. If he hasn't gotten into the 7th inning once and we're turning the calendar October, then we can have a different conversation about that. But right now, I don't know. And again, you see now where Blake Snell has been, right? The guy missed spring training.
And he's awesome.
And now he's kind of worked through that. He went on the injured list. I think he had a 15 strike. Didn't he have a 15 strikeout game
15 strikeout game.
Or the
no-hitter.
no-hitter.
Yeah.
So Cole's kind of in the same situation where he didn't have spring training, and these guys, especially the elite level players, they're creatures of habit. And you took this away from Gerrit Cole now. So it's something that he's working through. So I know there's a lot of contradicting of what I'm saying here, that I don't feel like he's still in ramp up mode, but also he did miss spring training. But so we'll see. The rotation is still a concern beyond them because
big time.
If Carlos Rodon, I hate using a Booneism, but he has turned the corner here in his last 3 starts. He does look more like the guy that
started the year.
That started the year. Nestor Cortez. Home Nestor, road Nestor. I know what the splits are. I don't in a big spot. The only thing I can say positively about Nestor Cortez in a big spot is I don't think it overwhelms him. Whether or not he's going to pitch well in that spot is another thing. Schmidt is a guy. He's still probably another 3 or 4 weeks away. So
yeah, you're probably looking at maybe the beginning of September.
So does that even? But how does that make him a player for October then? Because we're seeing what Gerrit Cole is going through right now.
And the thing with Nestor, I want to just touch on something here with Nestor Cortez real quick. I actually think Nestor could be really, really effective for the Yankees out the bullpen. Especially
SGR is
in the
a big
postseason.
Nestor in the bullpen guy.
I'm right. I agree with him 100%. And I'm not saying you do that now, but I'm saying when you look at the postseason and you schedule, how do you want your rotation to go? If you're facing a club like, let's just say Baltimore, for an example, you go, this team got a lot of lefties. If you're able to go, all right, Hill has been pretty good. Who's your other guy? Well, the best guy is Nestor Cortez. If you got at least 3 starters that you could depend on, and feel like we can handle it with these guys, or even 4. And Nestor can be a guy that comes out of the bullpen. He was hitting 95 the other day. I mean, if you let Nestor sit back and go, hey, look, man, just rear back and let it go for an inning, that is going to be the role that we feel you could pitch in to help us win a World Series this year. That's what's going to make you most effective and most, the most value for the club. That's where we're going to put you. And I think it can be pretty damn effective.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see him taking the ball in October if the Yankees have Heel, Cole, Rodon, and
Him or
Schmidt
Stroman.
healthy.
I mean, Stroman, I'm terrified of right now.
Let me tell you something right now, okay? And
Okay, he's going to tell us something.
I'm not getting into why he went after the fans, okay? Because that's a whole bigger conversation,
It's a
and
whole
we
other
don't
thing,
need
yeah.
we don't need to get into that right now. Okay? The fact of the matter is that he went after the fans.
Correct, he did.
He did do that.
He did, 100%. 100%. And shout out to Francis, who had an amazing response to him going after the fans. Better than I ever could. So,
absolutely.
Amazing job.
Credit to Francis. Again, not taking sides on why he did it. He did it, though. And it was unnecessary. It really was unnecessary.
There's no reason
because these are the things that we were worried about with him coming in when the signing was made.
Yeah.
We were live that night. We were the ones that broke the signing. NYYST was live. We were talking with you back and forth on it too. All right. He's a guy that has a very, to put it mild, checkered past with social media and fans, okay? And the way he reacts to fans on social media. And we're willing to give him benefit of the doubt.
Of course.
He's the one that, clean slate here.
Yep.
Just come here and pitch well. He said no distractions. He's not going to use social media for that. And then he used social media for that.
Hey, Mets fans been telling us for a while. They said, get ready for it. It's coming. It's coming. We know it. And there's a couple of Mets fans that I chat with every now and then. They're like, oh, there it goes. And then it's going to keep getting worse. I'm like, we'll see.
You cannot attack the fans for whatever reason.
Exactly.
And then pitch poorly.
Correct. And look, the 2 guys who've done it, Nestor and him, and they've both been horrible ever since. So, to even say, we're not going to go into detail on what it was about. Everybody's, allowed to have certain beliefs on things, but I'm not going to sit there and go, well, the fans want to be loud when we lose, but you're quiet now, aren't you? Like, it has nothing to do with the fan base. Like, you're putting something on everybody. Just, bro, you can have your opinions of anything you like. Leave the fans out of it.
But
there was no reason at all to sit there and go.
I agree with that. 110%. There was no reason to bring the fans into this.
Not at all. Zero reason.
Okay, we all know what happened. You can make your tweets about that. That's fine. Nobody had an issue with that.
Of course.
Now you're bringing the fans into that. That's just unnecessary.
Agree.
And now you give the Yankees 8 outs. Okay, the Yankees just had a hell of a fucking road trip. Go 5-1 against Boston and Philadelphia. You take the mound to return home. Again. This is my favorite line. You puked all over yourself, all over the mound on Friday night. Give the Yankees 8 outs, and you're getting booed off the mound. It's just creating negative energy that doesn't need to be there. Okay.
A friend of mine calls him Marcus Showman now. He goes, he's just a showman. That's it.
And my biggest criticism of Marcus Stroman this year, even when he was pitching well, is he pitches afraid.
He does. He's a nibbler. He's 100% a nibbler. And
you cannot pitch like that in October. You're going to get killed.
And let's remember, one of the big things he attacked the Yankees on was none of your guys can pitch in October. Well, that tweet is going to be blasted at him if he doesn't pitch good in October. And do I believe he's going to get a shot? Yeah, I do. And his last outing that he pitched poorly, he came out of that game, he got booed. And I mean, he got booed loudly. So look, Yankee fans are brutal. We all know this. And I said it when they signed him. Yankee fans will forgive, but they will never, ever forget.
As long as you're pitching well.
They'll forget it. They'll leave it alone and let it ride. But people got those tweets locked and loaded. They haven't gone away. And they're ready to put them out there.
That's why.
And I hate acting that way because we want to see him do good. Nobody wants to attack
I'm not rooting
Stroman.
against him.
We're not rooting against him at all. Not at all.
Stupid.
It's a stupid thing to do to attack the fan base because then when they give it back to you, I don't want to hear, oh, they're picking on the team. No. He did it. He's a player of the club. Be a player. You want to make your political post or whatever the hell it is, however you feel about it. God forbid, go right ahead, brother. Go right ahead. There is no reason, zero reason, for you to go ahead and bring any fan on it.
Somebody in the chat said they booed Judge, so nobody is above it. Okay, well. First of all, if you're booing Aaron Judge, I'm not going to use the word.
You might be drunk. You might have had a couple of too many drinks that day to be booing Judge.
You're brain drunk. Okay, that's what you are. But you're just booing sole performance, even though it's silly to boo Aaron Judge because he struggled for 3 weeks, and now look at him, right? That was just silly to boo Aaron Judge. Yeah. You're booing. You're booing poor performance because now he said something that he shouldn't have said about you. Now it's personal. It was never personal with Aaron Judge. Now Marcus Stroman's being booed because it's personal. And that's just something you don't want. You're trying to win a championship here.
Correct. You want the fans on your side, man. And let's be honest here. Marcus Stroman had it very, very much. Very, very much. I mean, there was even a moment when he did the stuff with Glaber, and I said, look, man, here's a guy who I had some issues with in the past. Marcus Stroman, by the way, told me to go and do your little stupid podcast. So, we've had our back and forths. We had our back and forths on Twitter when he was not a New York Yankee. So, and he also shouted us out this year. So there's that little stupid podcast for you, Marcus. But the funny thing is that you want the fans to be on your side. And when he did the Glaber thing, man, I said, look, I gained a huge amount of respect for Marcus Stroman because somebody had to do it. And he did it.
Can't be that guy. Be that guy.
Correct. Exactly.
That guy. And
exactly. You can't do that.
Now that you brought up Gleyber Torres, let's close out the show here with Gleyber Torres.
The Yankees might be closing the coffin on him pretty soon. So
I'll put it to you like this. The Undertaker slammed the casket shut on DJ LeMayeu's career, but DJ LeMahieu kept his fingers inside the door from letting it close completely.
Fully close, yep.
Because now in his last, you got to give the guy credit, right? I'm still not expecting 20. We'll read this real quick from Jonathan Sosa super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the Yankees talk on a day off, fellas. Any chance we see Warren start again this year? I think it's possible.
Yeah, I think so.
I wouldn't rule it out. And I didn't see the game because I was on vacation, but I don't think he pitched poorly based on what the highlights I saw. He got beat. He got hit for a 3-run home run. He got deep in. What did he pitch, like 5 1/3 or something? I don't think he pitched poorly. I don't think
he didn't pitch bad.
I don't think he did anything to keep the Yankees.
His slider he has an absolutely filthy slider, which is what we've known about him for a little while.
So, the last 2 times DJ LeMahieu has started, he's been the deciding factor in those games. He had 6 RBIs in Philly. Those were the only 6 runs the Yankees scored in that game.
Yep.
He had the game-winning hit yesterday, and you can say whatever. He's been hitting 87 hoppers to third base for 95% of the season. He got one where nobody won the game yesterday. So, again, I'm not expecting a 2019 career resurgence out of DJ LeMahieu, but you know what? He's showing signs of life, and that's really all you can ask for out of the guy right now.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed this over the last couple of days, and I honestly haven't dug into the video to see if there's actually any truth to it. But in yesterday's game, to me, it looks like he's lowered his hands. And I don't know if he's done that to maybe get a little more elevation on the baseball, to kind of lift the ball a little bit.
I didn't notice it.
I got to double check and see. And I don't know if maybe somebody in the chat who likes doing this stuff, somebody in the Discord server wants to grab, something from, last month and then something from yesterday and look at the side-by-sides. But I really do feel like he dropped his hands a little bit. It looks different to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm seeing things, but sometimes I catch that stuff when I'm calling the game all the time, and I'll see if that's it. But it does make sense if you do lower your hands. That could lead to you lifting the baseball a little more, having a different plane on the swing. But he has been better as of late, and sometimes you start, like you said, you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. There you go. Oh shit, I don't want to stop doing this yet. And it puts a little a little pep in his step, so to say. And he starts maybe searching for answers on how to be a little better. And he's looked better. He's looked good. And this is probably the best role for him anyway. He's not a starter no more. Him playing off the bench or, spotting a game here and there is probably the best thing for him.
Yeah, I agree. But let him start against a tough lefty. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Get a couple starts a week. Because Ben Rice, I like Ben Rice. I think he has an overall good idea of what he's doing up there. But he's not a superstar. He's not somebody that's. I don't know. I think he's an interchangeable part right now, Ben Rice. Is that a fair assessment?
It's fair. Look, I wanted everybody knows this. I was very, very excited to have the possibility of getting Yandy Diaz. I wanted Yandy to be the first baseman, and I was very willing to just say, sorry, Ben Rice. I think you have potential, but if I could get an upgrade like that at first base, I'm doing it. The good thing about Ben Rice that I do like is he hasn't really fallen off of his approach, which I think is a good sign because I think he's close to potentially going off again and those numbers being back to about 230, 240 and, having a 750 or so OPS.
And he's got, the moment doesn't get too big for Ben Rice.
It doesn't, and that's what I like about him. He can handle playing in New York with the Yankees, and there's nothing I see of a guy that's chasing. He's trying too hard. He seems like he's starting to make that adjustment to the major leagues and start putting it together. So I'm hopeful he will.
And he's a guy you stick him eighth, he just gets lost in that lineup and he can do some damage down there,
Yeah.
So, but as I wanted to bring up Gleyber Torres here as to close out the show here, and I made this tweet a couple weeks ago, and people were like, "You're stupid. How do they kiss his ass for 7 years? They've kissed Gleyber's ass for 7 years. Okay,
100%.
There's
100%.
and they just did it again. They acquire a second baseman and move him to third base to accommodate Gleyber Torres.
And what was Gleyber's answer? I'm a second baseman. I play second base.
Yes, and Jazz Chisholm, and this tweet is my most viral tweet that I had. It's got over 1.4 million views, 10,000 likes on it. It's got picked up by like some big Facebook groups too. Who cares in the long run? I'm just saying it's blew up for me.
Okay, Christian's famous. Okay,
I'm not that famous. Okay, but I tweeted the exact quotes. Gleyber Torres here since 2018. I'm a second baseman. I play second base. Jazz Chisholm. I'll play anywhere to win a championship. So
unbelievable. What a difference in mindsets of trying to win. Unbelievable.
But again, they went and they bent over backwards for Gleyber Torres. Again, I like what I've seen out of Jazz, but he's not a third baseman. You're playing a guy out of position to accommodate Gleyber Torres. And yes, Gleyber Torres has a pulse at the plate. I think the overall numbers skew how good he's really been over the last month or so at the dish, But here's the problem. Aaron Boone had every right in the world to bench him on Friday
No doubt
night.
about it.
Every
no doubt
right.
About it, man.
Every right he had to bench him on Friday night.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time on that.
And I can't deal with the whataboutism. I hate it in any aspect of life when somebody says this and they're like, well, what about that? We're talking about this. And we're talking about Gleyber Torres. And people,
in that moment, and Boone did say it, he said in that moment, it was right. Now, if you want to, because, I have
about Verdugo? What about LeMahieu?
Yeah.
Okay, who
I have my long-running standards with Boone on, how he handles these things. And look, it's Boone's fault in many senses, in my opinion, that he hasn't maintained that standard since being a manager. So I get where people are saying that, but we don't know, look, how many conversations he's had with him. We don't know how many conversations overall. If I want to believe, it's got to be a shit ton. And Boone even said yes after that game when he were pressing him a bit. Look, I got a lot of grace on these guys. He's basically sitting there telling you what we've been telling you for years. He is way too nice to these players. Way too. He admitted it.
He
said it. He admitted it. So for all those people, all those years going, you guys are negative. You just wanted. He admitted it. What we've been telling you. That Aaron Boone is far too nice to these players.
The cupcakes and juice boxes thing that he said
it's real. It's real. All of that is 100% real. So yes, I get what But you got to get, this was a moment thing that Boone probably sat there and goes, look, this guy has sucked all year. I've been taking bullets for this guy since I got here, and you're still doing this shit. He had a moment of when he snapped, and he said, enough, I'm done with it. You're pulled. You're pulled. I pulled you. You're out. And you know what? Good for him. Good for him. Should he keep doing it? Yes. Do it with everybody.
And you can tell he could say whatever he wants. So Verdugo's banged up. Verdugo, that was a benching yesterday. That was
100%. He's not doing shit. Who cares? Take him out.
He benched Verdugo yesterday. He didn't. Oh, I think it's not one of those. Oh, I think he needs a day because.
No, I agree.
No, he was benched yesterday.
I agree because he does it too much.
Benched. Okay.
Yep.
So all this. What about? These guys are. He's benching everybody. Okay. So again, I don't want to sit here and throw roses at the feet of Aaron Boone because I still have I still have plenty of issues with him, but he handled this Gleyber Torres thing perfectly. And Kay said it. Kay, you know, as much as I have problems with things Michael Kay says, he hit the nail on the head. It was I think it was Friday night, right after it happened. Aaron Boone's not stupid. He is not a dumb guy. Like we think that he's dumb, but he's not dumb.
No, he's not a stupid. I say that a lot. This guy comes from a real baseball family. That's in there. It's in there. He knows that.
He 100% knew that the tenor of that conversation was going to be picked up by every camera in Yankee Stadium. He could have easily said, Gleyber, come here, talk to him in the tunnel, talk to him in the clubhouse. He wanted that to be seen by everybody.
Correct. No doubt about it. And people got their panties in a bunch because he did it. And look, I came after the rightful wrong people in that moment. I went after the media because you can't all of a sudden start sitting there but the one dude, I forgot who it was, he had the nerve to tell Aaron Boone, this has kind of been a common thing in your tenure. Well, where have you been with the articles? Where's the pushback? Where's the articles talking about this stuff? All of a sudden now it's done in front of everybody. So now you're comfortable with asking the question? It's bullshit. Do your job. I always felt this way, and I don't think they believe this, the media. And maybe I'm wrong, but I always felt like the media was the middle piece for the fans to the players and the manager to the fans. We're reading the insight, right? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? We're reading the insight of what you're saying. That's us being in your shoes for a moment and having those questions asked. You can't sit there and all of a sudden act like, well, this was wrong because other guys do it. But why haven't you guys brought it up for all these years? Because you wanted your access. That's why. You're scared of it. But now that it was on TV, you felt comfortable doing it.
Because back when I was growing up, the Bob Clappishes of the world, right? And I always go back to Bob because my dad left the Sunday Record at the top. My parents stuck me in the basement. They didn't want anything to do with me. So, but he would leave the newspaper at the top of the stairs. And on Sunday, so I would come upstairs whenever I woke up and I would read the newspaper. And one of my favorite things to do, I loved reading Bob Clappish's Sunday column in the Record. And back growing up, like those guys brought you inside the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Kevin Curran. You needed those guys back in, the 70s, 80s, 90s. Yep. You don't need them now with social media and
that's right.
The way that the game is covered now. You don't need them. So they're not going to speak out of turn because I'm not singling anybody out, but the Kirshners and the Hoax and the Cuddys and all these and all of them, they're can be gone like that. Right? Because the Yankees just put out the information themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know if the post-game interview with the manager was a big thing back in the 90s. I never stuck around to watch it. I don't even know if they aired it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now Boone if Boone's not on TV within 5 minutes of the game ending, you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
I'd rather just hear him say it.
Yeah.
Or somebody's going to tweet it out what the important stuff is. You don't need these people anymore.
Agreed.
Anybody with thumbs in a cell phone can sit there and say, well, Aaron Boone said this in the post-game conference, right?
That's right. Anybody can do like you said, the Yankees can literally just say, we're going to kick all these guys out. We'll have 2 or 3 people, and we're going to just tweet out. What the
90% of the
conversation has
time
been,
they
and boom, it's out there.
90% of the time, the official Yes Twitter account posts Boone's full post game press conference.
Yeah.
So you don't even need anybody to transcribe what was
You don't
important.
need to go read it. You don't got to get an opinion. You make your own. It's right there. I do it after post games now. Post games, I wait till it's posted and I live react because that's what the fans in the post games like. No, watch it. I want to see it too. And that's one of the main things we do now is we listen to his post game afterwards and we react right there on the spot. But you're right. It's very fast. If I start the game, 10, 15 minutes in there, it's up there already.
And that's the problem with people going, well, what about? Well, Alex Verdugo's been here 4 months. He's a loafer. We know this. Alex Cora couldn't wait to get him out of Boston, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But he's been here 4 months or however long it's been. What about DJ LeMahieu? Well, he's got 2 broken feet. He's an old-ass, slow white guy.
Right.
Even if he's
not
hustling,
fast.
it doesn't look like he's hustling, right?
Yeah.
And I know there's been a couple of times that he's looked lazy out there, especially defensively.
Yeah.
But this has been going on for 7 years.
Yep.
7 years. There's a difference
Yep.
between now with DJ LeMahieu being old and probably frustrated that he's not an all-star player anymore, and a guy that, and then Verdugo, a guy that's been here for 4 years, and a guy that you have given every opportunity to and bent over backwards to make him feel comfortable. Pete, we're not even talking about Anthony Volpe. We're not even still going back here sitting, well, they could have had Corey Seager. They could have had this. If Gleyber Torres wasn't such a bag of dog shit at shortstop in 2021, that was the organizational plan. And they shifted because of him and then gave him his job back and then acquiesced to what he wanted. And then I'm telling you something right now. I don't know how this feels, how you felt about this. Look, I get it. You're most comfortable at shortstop and at second base, I should say. And nobody really wants to move you because we saw what happened when you
on the left side of the infield.
When you got moved. You had your worst season of your career, right? So nobody's really clamoring for you to be moved off of second base, right? Even though you are the worst second baseman in baseball. I'm just saying. Michael K said today he's average. No, he's not. He's terrible.
He's not average. He's not average. He's not average.
He's not.
He's
average.
not. That's bullshit. He's
He's
not
a
average.
below average defensive player. I don't care what
100%.
anybody says. He's a below average.
He
defensive.
missed. There was even a diving attempt yesterday. When you see a diving attempt, typically you go, I mean, he dove for it. So there was effort there. We know that. But you look at it again, it's like, you just didn't get your glove down. Like, it's just little things that a good fielder is like, I'll make that play time and time again. And the thing is about Gleyber Torres, the thing that bothered me the most.
Can I just finish? Yeah, I just want to finish that point.
Yeah.
Pete, you don't have any leg to stand on to say that you're a second baseman.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
You don't have
what have you done?
You got nothing coming.
You're not even having a good season to say that. So it doesn't even matter about, well, look at, last season. Everybody, including, a shout out to Francis because he brings this up a lot. He's like, I was one of the guys on the network here saying that I think he's going to have a career season. He's a free agent. He's going to get a shit ton of money. He's going to have this great year.
But doesn't it make sense that he's struggling, that something is affecting him mentally?
Yeah, I mean, to say something like that while having such a horrible season defensively and offensively, bro, if I were one of the leaders in that clubhouse, I would have pulled him aside and said, hey, look, man, I don't know how you think that's a good answer, but let's be real here. You should be doing anything this team asks you to do, or any guy in this clubhouse asks you to do. If they say tomorrow we want you taking grounders at third base, you should be over there doing cartwheels to get out there.
Pete,
don't give me that shit.
What would have happened if Aaron Judge says, I'm a right fielder, I play right field?
Yeah, forget this Soto guy. Put him in center. Oh, he was terrible in left field? Oh, good. Oh, well, I guess he's going to be worse here. It's a bigger left field. Good luck. He could have. It's my team. And Aaron went right to Halsteimer and go, look, I know you guys want Soto. I want him here too. But he's playing center field, left field. I'm not moving.
And at least you could have said, well, that's Aaron Judge. He gets the right to say that.
Exactly. We still would have had a problem with a lot of us, but he is Aaron Judge. He has a contract, one, and he's done very, very good. He's been very, very good. Gleyber Torres is no contract after this season, and this season he has been horrible.
The Yankees, the Yankees cannot even entertain bringing him back next year.
That's why some people tell me to go, give him the qualifying offer. I said, hell no.
What if he
Don't.
takes
He'll
it?
take it. 19 million after this year? It'd be nuts not to take it. And on top of that, he's one of the worst. Like Michael K to even consider saying that he's an average defender, he is well below average. Well below average.
I don't. There's people in the chat saying he'll be in the Mexican League next year. I don't think he's going that far, but
No,
I
he'll
think
get a chance with somebody. But
listen, Joey Gallo got picked up after the disaster he had in New York.
Right.
He signed somewhere. So, but the big long-term money, I think Glaber pissed that away this year.
oh, no doubt about it. And the craziest thing about Glaber is, he's never been a good defender at second base. You look at last year. Last year, he was one of the worst defenders at second base. A lot of that stuff has not changed. He's in the bottom, like there you go. Troy says it right there. He's in the bottom quarter of fielding. He's not a good defender. Glaber Torres, for a couple, remember that thing they put out a couple of years ago when he had the 2020, like his 5-year projection was like 45 homers a season. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's an absolute mess. It's an absolute mess.
What is the super chat? Any updates on Soto? Is he hurt? I don't know. He stayed in the game. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be seeing him on Saturday, but we'll see. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna see him on Saturday. But no, yeah, I don't. Soto's fine. Soto's fine. That's one of the. Can we also just talk about it real quick? How fucking the toughness that guy has brought to this team. I mean, that's the one thing I think I like about Soto almost more than anything is the dude is super friggin' tough. To the any type of thing with Soto is like, nah, man, I want to get back in the lineup. I want to be there every single day. God, that's something that I have missed on this club for a long time. Is a guy that just wants to be out there every day. If he's injured, I forgot he said something the other day. He's like, it's painful during, like, how do you play through it? He goes, it's, or something along the lines of, it hurts during a game, but I do it because I want to win. I want to play every day. I want to be here and win with this team. And I'm just going to be in the lineup. And he'll deal with it later when he doesn't play.
Yeah.
So it's just
he
fun to
definitely
watch him
changed
every day.
He's definitely changed the attitude of this team, and that's what I love so much about Boone early on in the season is that, and I think it was partially with Soto being here and being a guy that doesn't want days off. He wants to play every day. Same nine names were out in the same spots every night. I mean, obviously you would switch up the catcher, but you knew what it was. And now that hopefully that we got guys back and healthy, whatever it is, now we stick with the same lineup every day. The lineup consistency is so vastly underrated by people these days, and I think it's one of the most important things to a winning ball club.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. He makes a big difference. And, I told everybody, I said, look, I don't want to talk about anything when it comes to his status of where he's going to sign because I'll probably be talking about that almost every single day in the offseason. So I'd rather wait until then. So hopefully, I think there's a great chance, obviously, of him coming back, but that's going to be the talk of every single day in the offseason.
Yeah, well, let's hope the offseason ends with him being a World Series champion, and then whatever happens at that point.
That would be nice.
But, the Angels are coming to Yankee Stadium here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all 7:05 games as the Yankees continue this homestand here. The Angels just took 2 out of 3 from the Mets, so I don't know. They're showing a little signs of life here as they move along here. I just want to briefly touch on this real quick. Mike Trout is one of the biggest what-if stories in the history of sports. This guy can't stay healthy. If he just could have, everybody says he's the greatest player of his generation. I don't know how you can say that when he doesn't stay on the field.
That's his biggest problem. And unfortunately, there's been guys in baseball that have that problem. Is that they're just overall great talents. They just can't stay on the field long enough, and it sucks for him because he just can't. He can't do it. He can't stay on the field long enough. And, it's not even like, I've seen some people go, maybe he comes back and he's just a DH and they kind of just leave him like that. I don't think it's anything even like that with him. I just think he's just one of those players that even if he DH'd, he's going to get beat up. He'll be on the IL at some point, and it's just been a part of his career, unfortunately.
The Yankees have invented ways to keep John.
They've tried their best.
Carlos staying healthy, and they just can't do it. So, I mean, it's just going to be this.
They've definitely tried their best.
It's just going to be one of those situations with Trout as well. I don't think this is going to be as easy of a series as people are thinking here,
Good pitching
because the
matchups.
Angels did show a little bit of life. They got, especially in the final two games of the series, they're throwing pretty good pitchers out there. And
Yep.
who's that guy closed the game out against the Mets on Saturday night? He was throwing 105.
Oh yeah. Oh
Joyce,
man, how
is
can I
his
think of his
name?
Joyce? Ben Joyce. Ben Joyce. Yeah, a guy Dane
Ben
liked
Joyce, yeah.
early, and he was like, "If there's a way we could pull that guy," I'm like, "Yeah, you ain't pulling him now. You ain't pulling Joyce
But
now."
Luis Gil's going to take the ball, and we're going to be in a little bit of trouble trying to get these games in because the Northeast here is
Yeah.
from Tuesday to Friday. We're looking at anywhere between 5 to 6 inches of rain.
Wow.
So it's gonna be tough to try to get these games in. We got Luis Gil against Daniel on a Tuesday. I'm actually going to the game on Wednesday, but it looks like it might be a washout. It's going to be home Nestor against Fulmer, and Fulmer's again, he's not going to be a pushover, and neither is going to be Anderson against Marcus Stroman. It's going to be a very important start for Marcus Stroman, especially if the Yankees are going into that game with a split or, God forbid, down in that series, facing a sweep. It's going to get ugly for him if he doesn't pitch well.
Yeah, no doubt about. I mean, that's a
It's
major outing for him.
So it's going to be very important for the Yankees to get some good pitching in this series and keep these bats alive here. And hopefully, they take another series. It'd be a huge letdown here after the way they played to go out there and drop a home series to the Angels here. But, it's right. As Boone likes to say, it's right in front of them, man. They're playing a lot better here. They got a weak schedule coming up. Here. I mean, really, you look at August. It's that series with Cleveland in 2 weeks at home is really the one that stands out to you here. So they can put some distance between themselves and Baltimore here, and hopefully they do so. And hopefully you are hitting your favorite podcast platform, and while you're there, you're subscribing to the NYYST podcast, leaving us a 5-star rating review. Tell everybody you know that we are the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey. Make sure you're subscribed to NYY Underground here on YouTube. If you're still in the chat, we want to thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Make sure you hit the like button. You want to drop those deets on the game on September 14th for everybody, Pete?
What is it? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
The deets. I was shortening up. I'm trying to be young again on September 14th.
Yes, September 14th, guys. Get your tickets. I was supposed to get an update today. I didn't get an update, so I'll wait till tomorrow to get an actual update on what we have left. But again, guys, Red Sox Yankees could actually be an important series, believe it or not. But sections 107 and 108 right behind one Juan Soto. Get your tickets ASAP. You get an NYYU New York Yankees t-shirt, very first of its kind. Can't wait to get that. Can't wait to see how it came out and looked. And like I said, man, the link is in the chat. Jira already posted it. Get your tickets. Come hang out with us. It's going to be an amazing time. Don't miss it.
Yes, thank you for all your support, your continued support of NYY Underground and NYYST. We want to thank everybody for listening and watching episode 411. I'll let you have the last word here. Pete, say goodbye.
Peace.
Can't make a promise, but I do my best. 25 sitting on 25 racks. Just got started, no, we ain't done yet. But a new crib, it's a goddamn flex. Sign that check. Told them last year that I've been up next. Can't take calls, but I send that text from way downtown.